Hello everybody, Tarek37 here, and welcome back to Let's Solo the Expanse RPG. Hold on, forgot to clean some stuff up. So I did, make kind of a bare bones character for, Cornelius Vega. Um, he's kind of got a couple of, I rolled for his stats, so that's why you're seeing kind of a weird spread, but I tried to, instead of doing it like randomly in a row, I did try to make sure that like it kind of fit with what we semi-established last time. With that being that um, uh, he's a former soldier, which, hold on, I want to get the username right on this. Give me a sec. Sorry, trying to get to the comments. So I hope I'm getting the username right. Chiragaznani 3437. That's what I'm seeing here. Suggested that maybe they were a soldier, and maybe from Mars. And I like that idea. Who revealed a corrupt secret operation to the public whistleblower style, hence why they got dishonorably discharged, and now they're on the belt. And possibly demolitions explosive specialist. And maybe even that Mars is still looking for them, want to arrest them, who knows. So I'm going to be taking quite a bit of that, because I really like that idea. I really, really like that idea. Almost a semi James Holden type from the books and the show, I imagine. So good with a pistol, good at fighting in close quarters, good intelligence, good perception, and very good willpower. And I figure that that's a good fit for Cornelius Vega, not Corellius Vega. Or now we're gonna go with Cornelius because this is still Earth. We're not full. And they're friendly. Link actor data. So yeah, we have Cornelius Vega, Charles Vescovi. So, believe it or not, I have actually been thinking quite a bit about trying to figure out this mystery, and I didn't want to leave it entirely up to the random chance this time, because while that works for some mysteries, while I think it can work, I would have been having a lot of trouble like fitting things together. So I have a theory as to, why is Chris dead, presumably, or kidnapped. Technically, we don't have a body, so technically not. Technically, we don't have a body, so technically we don't have... The person might not be dead. Probably they are dead, but we'll find out. So, here's kind of my thought process. So, presumably, Chris was a belter. And my thought process was, what if Chris was a part of one of the many factions of the Outer Planets Alliance, or OPA? Because I know from the Sol System book that there are a lot of different factions within the OPA. Just so many different factions. Now, this would explain some stuff. This gives us like some answers as to why someone wouldn't kill him, but we don't know which part of the OPA they were a part of. Could be Fred Johnson's faction, could be the faction on Ceres, / Anderson Dawes, could be any number of other factions. There's even factions that aren't listed in the book, in the Soul System book. So, here's my thought process. Either there's like some infighting between factions, and Chris was basically caught up in it, or potentially Chris defected, like left his like OPA cell, like decided he was done with whatever faction he was a part of, and that faction did not take too kindly to it. So, I'll ask a fake question. This question will be, was Chris killed by another faction of the OPA? Honestly, I'm going to put... actually, I forgot. We are going to lower the Chaos rank to 4. Because I feel like we were actually fairly in control of that situation. But yeah, I'm still like unsure. I'm still unsure, so we'll just see what happens. Okay. So, Chris was not killed by another faction of the OPA, which... Basically, the reason I worded it that way was because, like, if he was killed by another faction of the OPA, then yes, it's a power struggle within the OPA. But because it's a no, that means Chris was killed by his former faction of the OPA. So, this Earther, I think we decided the killer was an Earther. So let me roll back before the combat. Yes. Ahmed was an Earther. So, that means that whoever hired Ahmed to kill Chris would have to at least be comfortable hiring an Earther to do it. Well, actually, no, that... Just killing Chris would have been easy. They wanted to make Chris... like, scrape everything... Sorry, I'm thinking kind of like a... I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to go forward with this investigation, because we established that Ahmed is still alive. So there would be interrogations. You know what? I'm going to ask a fake question that I think is very pertinent. I'm going to say this is likely. But does Ahmed know who hired him? I think that's likely. Like, he might not have like a name, but he'll know. They might have told, like, which faction. Yes. Okay. So, Ahmed knows who hired him. And because it's not an exceptional yes, he doesn't know the name of the person, but he'll like, know the faction. Hold on. I'm kind of comparing it. I don't think... think the Voltaire Collective necessarily. Ooh, actually, no, it might be the Voltaire Collective. Alright, next fake question is... I'm going to put this at very likely. Was it the Voltaire Collective? Okay, so it was the Voltaire Collective. So the Voltaire Collective is one of the factions of the OP that is... They're very violent. It's like a mix, from what I'm reading, it's like a mix of like high-minded philosophers and bloody-handed militants. And it attracts some of the most fanatical zealots in the OPA, but the thing that I thought caught my eye most was was this. Those who show squeamishness or hesitation soon suffer accidents or are involuntarily martyred for the cause. No one is allowed to leave the Voltaire Collective, especially once they've been blooded, but if anyone has pulled it off, they're laying so low no one knows about it. Yeah. So, Ahmed knew he was hired by the Voltaire Collective to do this, to potentially kill Chris. I guess I should just ask the question. I'm gonna put this at, like, very unlikely. Is Chris still alive? No. Figured as much. So, now we come to an interesting thing. So, I found out that I have... Well, I didn't find out that I have these, but I have quite a few of the Mythic GM emulator, like magazine and magazine compilations. Some of them... One of them has... Here we go, found it. This is Mythic Magazine Volume 40, and it has mystery and horror adventure meaning tables. So, maybe I'll use this, maybe I won't. It depends on if I think it will help in this case. But, so, he's dead. So he was partially killed probably because the Voltaire Collective wanted to kill him because just on principle of you don't leave the collective. But the way it was done implies that there was more to it. Ooh, here's an interesting question. Was Ahmed the one who emptied Chris's apartment? I'm unsure about that. I'll leave it as is. No. So, when going to interrogate him, Charles and Cornelius are interrogating him, and at some point, like, he'll admit it, he's been caught, and there's no really denying it at this point. And Charles is going to ask questions like, alright, so we know you killed him. And by this point, he's probably admitted where the body is. So he's finally going to say, alright then, so why'd you empty the apartment? And Ahmed is going to say, what? I didn't touch the apartment. I killed him. Like after work, or before he got home. He was at a bar. I got him drunk, took him out and somewhere where no one would see us, killed him, and dumped the body in a dumpster. After that, I was just waiting for my ship to leave. And that is going to give Charles and Cornelius pause. After they're done with the interrogation, the first thing they're going to do is start brainstorming us. Okay. So we have... an earring that was still in Chris's apartment, but apparently he wasn't wearing it at the time. I think we might have to start looking through some trash, see if we can find any of the missing, any random beds or anything. Anything that looks out of place. And so, Charles and Cornelius, hold on, I'm going to delete this because I'm getting annoyed by something. Prototype token. First, link actor data, please, and then friendly, please. Jeez. Okay. Sorry, that was really bugging me. There we go. Sorry. So, essentially what I'm going for is Chris probably, beyond just being Chris... Oh, I forgot to up the... one for dealing with an... Oh, I'm just gonna hold on. Double check to make sure I get this right. Let's see, end of a scene in the adventure. Yeah, I'd say that. And successfully overcome an encounter or hazard. I think we did both of those, so I need to pump it up one more time. Ooh, we're already at 5. That's gonna be, interesting. So, I think, first things first, I'm gonna have Cornelius is going to be intelligence more than perception. He's going to try to, like, find where would be, like, the most likely places to dump all of the stuff. Basically, kind of like, okay, here, 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 and here. Where, if I were doing this, where would I dump it? Because it would have to be close enough that I would run, like, the least risk of getting caught, but also far enough away that it wouldn't immediately be tied to the location. So, alright, that's 15. That works. So, Charles is going to say, alright, I think it will be in this particular area. If we're lucky, it won't have been recycled or broken down in any way. And hopefully we can get all this. Hopefully we can get something out of this. Now, it's been a week. So I'm going to say it's very likely, unfortunately, that I'm going to say just has any of the evidence been destroyed. I'm going to give myself a little wiggle room that if it's yes, then, you know, maybe most of it, but there's still some clue. If I get an extreme yes, then yeah, it's all been destroyed. If we get an extreme no, we got super lucky and everything that we potentially might need is there. Oh boy. Okay. None of the evidence has been destroyed. That's actually really, really good. You know what? Because of how well that turned out, I'm going to bump the churn tracker up one more. We were super lucky. None of the evidence has been destroyed yet. So, me and Charles and Cornelius have the run of the place, and they can both do some investigation. Oh my god. I decided to roll for Cornelius first, and what does Cornelius do? He immediately is going to find a lot of freaking evidence. My gosh. He's gonna find... Okay, well, so, here's what we need to do. Now we need to find out what exactly this plan, like what exactly he finds. What could he find that would be interesting? What? Well, hold on. Let's check here. In this, let's see. I will roll on the crimes table. I'm going to roll twice on the crimes table. So, we have a 62 and an 88. So 62 is a personal crime. 82 is a tactic. Personal hold on, if we go in order. Wait, no, 88 is transform. 62 is personal. Transform personal. Okay. Transform personal. So what that is saying to me... Here's my thought process currently. Transform personal says to me maybe like cybernetic enhancements. Because I think that would be a personal transformation. Maybe schematics for a... No, but that wouldn't make sense for... Like, that would be stolen. And by whoever emptied it out. And they wouldn't... Okay. Maybe Chris kept a journal. A journal hidden in a like secret compartment in a footlocker that was going to be destroyed. The person searching never found it. They found whatever else they were looking for, which was presumably schematics and stuff. But here's what I'm thinking. Chris, while working for the Voltaire Collective, found out about a, like, series of... There's a company, I'll need to look up the corporation, but there's some corporation that was working on the field of cybernetics and cybernetic enhancements. And whatever they were working on was obviously military applications. What I suspect is in this journal, Chris like fully details like the mission he went on, and he found out what the corporation was. He was part of the team that found out what the corporation was working on, and he assumed that the Voltaire Collective would just basically sell the information or reveal it to the public of, like, what was going on, because here's my thought. Whatever these cybernetic enhancements were, like, very painful, very, like, very invasive, and so just kind of, like, in his mind, would show some of the cruelty of the Inners. But the Voltaire Collective, they ended up deciding to do was, rather than destroy these schematics or sell them or blackmail, like anything else, they thought, hey, what if we made these ourselves? Because, like, some of these would, like, be, like, help, like, augment strength, or augment, like, reflexes, in some way. Maybe some of these cybernetics, like, had, like, a, like, drug system that they could use to, like, make sure that their guys would all have, like, a steady supply of painkillers. Or maybe, like, other drugs to, like, make them more, like, help them get through a fight more quickly. So, when he found that out, when he figured out what they were going to do, this was before, like, they didn't, like, broadcast this. This is going to be, like, delivered via data slate. This is going to be delivered via data slate directly to the leadership of the Voltaire Collective. And Chris, like, diverted course, ended up on the station, like, hit his, like, give himself a new name, gave himself, like, all this other stuff, decided he'd just go AWOL. Someone, somewhere along the way, noticed him. Someone, either someone he knew, or someone who had connections with the Voltaire Collective and knew about this guy, told somebody else in the Voltaire Collective. And now, the Voltaire Collective agent, whoever they were, has schematics for these new for cybernetic enhancements. I'm going to say potentially dangerous. Dangerous to the person being augmented. So, that is where I think we're heading with this. So, I'm saying that word a lot. I'm saying so way too much. But, here is what I'm imagining. I'm imagining that this revelation is going to put both of them on edge. Both Cornelius and Charles. Because it's been about a week. I think if I showed... I don't know if I showed you the... What? Sorry. It's been about a week since then. So odds are... the agent has already left on one of the ships. So... I think Charles and Cornelius are still going to try to find this person. Because whoever they are even if it's too late to stop the information from the data from getting out there, this person still, like, aided in a murder, and especially since Charles, like, wants to take a leadership position in his mind, taking a leadership position means taking initiative. I think by this point, like, Cornelius and Charles are, I think we established with one of the questions, they were, like, very good partners. Like, I don't think it'll take much convincing, so I'm not going to roll for it. They decide we need to start looking into anybody who left. Like, anybody who might be responsible for this, and we need to find what ship they left on and when, and try to see if we can find where they were going, which is going to be a very tall order because space is very, 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 very big, even in the even just in our solar system. So, first thing we're going to do, Charles is going to do more research and try to basically narrow down. Okay, 12. I'm going to say this is actually going to be an advanced test. I'm going to say this is going to be an average difficulty. So what happens is with an advanced test, from what I recall, for every, like, successful, like, roll you make, you add, like, the stunt die as points to the test threshold. And once you, like, meet or exceed the threshold, you did it. So I'm going to say this is challenging, which means success threshold is 15. But we already have, I'm going to say that was a successful roll, so we're already at 5. So that's what Charles is going to do. Cornelius... Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to go too well, but Cornelius, he is going to be, like, interrogating people on the, like, people who, like, worked with Chris, like, asking, like, is anybody who seemed to recognize Chris? Oh my gosh. What the heck? What luck? Okay, I swear this is like... I have a friend who has insane luck, and I swear this guy's rolls have just been... What the heck? God dang. Sorry, I'm, like, looking through... Stunts. Again, I kind of see stunts almost as, like, spending stun points almost as spending, like, advantage or triumph in Star Wars. So, since this particular interaction doesn't seem to meet any of the, like, none of the stunts seem to really work. What I'm going to do is basically say alright, I will spend 2 of it to do the and another thing social stunt, which what that does is make a second related test as part of your action before anyone else has a chance to respond or make any tests of their own. So, what he's going to do, basically this is going to see if, like, can we get this done basically in one quote-unquote round. Because at this point, every second kind of counts. So, I was going to make another communication test. Okay, total is 10. I do think that's actually enough to hit, like, the actual success. Oh, also. Especially if yeah, the other 3 I'll use to, like, bump up his check so he gets an extra 3 points. So, but it's gonna bump up our churn tracker by another 1. And yet again, more stunt points, and I think, because this is part of the investigation, this interaction is going to it's going to give us some clues as to, we're not only going to, like, with all of this information together, find out what ship our quarry left on, we're also going to find out quite a bit more about this person. So Charles finds out, like, okay, the series of ships that left, which ones were the most, like narrows down, like, which ship left when, and Cornelius, with communication checks, was able to find out who seemed to have it out for Chris, and who, like, what their name is, where they were, and when the last time anybody saw them was. So, get some names here. Off. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna say it doesn't necessarily start with so I'm gonna say they called themselves Gunny Authrend. Yeah, go with that. Gunny Authrend. And Gunny Authrend, whoever they were, and again, I'm not going to be rolling as much because now I'm more trying to now, like, kind of piece together this mystery. So I think Gunny Authrend was not originally looking for Chris, but they knew Chris, and when Gunny saw Chris and recognized him, didn't interact, but everyone noticed that Gunny kind of recognized Chris and seemed to be keeping a close eye on him, but never really wanted to be seen. And around the time of Chris's initial disappearance, Gunny called in sick that day, called in sick for the next couple days, worked half a day, and then disappeared, and no one's seen them since. Gunny didn't really interact with them and so many people, so they didn't really care too much. But with everything caught together, I think Gunny Authrend is a member of the Voltaire Collective and probably left. You know what? It's been like 6 or 7 days, so let me roll a d6 and we'll see how many days ago Gunny left. Gunny left 5 days ago. So odds are it's too late to not for the information to not have gotten to the Voltaire Collective. But I think both Cornelius and Charles are still going to try to track Gunny down. I think that is where we're going to end the episode. Thanks everybody for watching slash listening. Oh, don't let me forget to tick that up. I think, let's see, we started around 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think 9 is fine. Yeah, 9 is fine. Next time we'll probably have a chance to get our first churn event, and we'll see where things go from there. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I feel like I did a lot less rolling in this episode, or far more of my rolling was on like the yes or no table, just to try to figure out the directions things were going. And I kind of like this direction. I like the idea of, okay, well now we need to find kind of the inner politics of one of the OPA factions, along with a potential threat that might start showing up in future sessions. Like maybe we'll end up fighting a member of the Voltaire Collective with cybernetic enhancements that make them much more difficult to fight. Who knows? But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye.